GM LeBron can go back to regular season LeBron after another successful stint drafting and then winning the All-Star game. Now it's go time for Bron and the Lakers. Montrezl Harrell and the rest of the squad. It's had 9 days since we last saw them. They'll be shorthanded again tonight, but Kyle Kuzma has shown he's ready to take a bigger workload on. The Lakers and Pacers begin the second half of the season in an hour. Live here on Spectrum Sportsnet, the Pacers swept last season's games and have won the last 3 against L.A. Hello and welcome to Access Sportsnet Lakers, brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. I'm Chris McGee. Joining us, teammates for 3 titles, Big Shot, Rob, and Coach Derek Fisher standing in big game spot, showing off the suit game.
A lot of shoes to fill over here for big game.
Is this a little history tonight? Is this the first time you guys have been on the show together?
No, we've been on.
Okay, just making sure.
This is the second time.
It's rare, though.
Second time.
It's rare.
It is rare, though. Big game still, you know. Chilling.
Yeah.
You think he's watching us?
As he should. Hell no.
Of course. Oh, absolutely. We're going to have some fun tonight, though. All right, let's.
Cigar.
What?
He's watching us with a cigar.
Cigar for sure. All right, big game sent in a photo. Let's start with the biggest news for tonight's game. Anthony Davis. He remains out dealing with the right calf strain. This will be the 10th straight game missed for the Brow. And they are down another big man. Marc Gasol will also be out tonight due to health and safety protocols. This is the 3rd game in a row they will be without Marc. So Gasol's still out, guys. No AD. The Lakers have struggled without the 2 big men. They're 7-7 without AD. How do you make up, Rob, how do you make up for it on the defensive end without these 2?
You know, you can't make up for AD because AD brings a different game when it comes to playing defense. He's a shot blocker. He's a rim protector. And we don't ever talk about this, but he can guard guards out on the wing and follow them to the paint and still end up blocking the shot.
Really.
Yeah. So, but I think you make it with a lot of team defenses. That's what they have to have. They have to have a defensive effort from everyone. Everyone has to be locked in because they can do it. You know, Gasol is that guy who can clog up the paint, but he's not a shot blocker. But, you know, I always go to my boy Trez. Trez blocks a lot of shots. We don't talk about that. It takes a lot of charges. So defensively, you got that aspect of it, but I think they'll be fine.
The activity, I think that Robert just mentioned, that's really where they have to be different than when you have AD and Gasol in the paint protecting the rim with their size. A lot of people underestimate the fact that rebounding is how you finish great defensive possessions. So when you take AD and Marc out, that hurts your rebounding in some ways. But they've had games where they've shown the ability to be aggressive, trapping the post, trapping screen roll, getting into rotation, forcing teams to make hang time passes. They can get out, shoot the passing lanes, and get into transition.
So, Fish, Damian Jones did get that second 10-day contract, as we all thought he would. He got the start against the Kings, only played 15 minutes. What do you want to see out of him tonight?
Just continue to stay within yourself. That's how you got the second 10 days. Don't come in and try to show out and prove to everybody that you belong. I think this young man has proven that he is a talent that is capable of playing in the NBA on a consistent basis. He's been on 3 different teams, and he's had good stretches. Warriors, Suns, now Lakers. So continue to do the things that got you into this position. Finish possessions when your teammates put you in good spots offensively. Protect the basket, play with activity on the defensive end, and continue to stay within yourself.
It's not about getting buckets, is it, Rob?
No, it's not about getting buckets. It's about relaxing. Because I think when guys, I remember playing with guys who on 10 days, they start stressing out like, oh, I gotta get that contract. And then that interferes with how they play on the court because they're not thinking about the game, they're thinking about the contract. And so I think with him, he's been on a couple of teams, so he has that pedigree where he says, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and play basketball. You know, this is a game that I love doing, I love playing it. Enjoy the moment and just play. You play with one of the best players that ever played this game, so there's definitely no pressure on you because you're playing with LeBron James. And I think if you look at this team as a whole, they really enjoy and they embrace everybody on the team. And from watching, they're embracing him. He looks like he's been on this team for 2 or 3 years. Yeah,
you both got great points there. All right, let's get you to Lakers reporter Mike Trudell, who joins us live from Staples Center. Lakers' first game after the All-Star break. Haven't played since March 3rd. Much needed rest for the champs. Mike, how are you feeling?
Oh, I'm great. First of all, it's a nice mix in the studio there. You guys were wondering if Big Game James is watching. Well, it depends. Can he get Wi-Fi on the golf course in order to have the game because it's still light out.
Yeah,
right?
Like, he's on hole 15 right now.
yeah, exactly. So somebody's got to deliver the phone though, because I'm sure he wants to check out the game. But we miss him. But again, anytime you can fill in with these two in the studio, Gator, you're doing just fine. Now, how can the Lakers replace two of their key players in the starting lineup? That's where we started with Frank Vogel, just figuring out how they're going to deal without Gasol, without AD in that front court.
We have two big guys that can man the middle, in DJ and obviously Trez, playing bigger minutes off the bench. We'll start with DJ again and then keep Trez in his role. And then, Keith has been starting, doing a good job with us at the forward position, and we play with a smaller second unit. It's kind of the formula that I foresee going forward until those guys are back.
Frank, just wanted to know your takeaways from practice yesterday, how you felt like guys looked, whether it was physically, and then how you just thought guys felt mentally coming off of the break.
I feel like mentally we had a really positive vibe to our team. Great energy with our group. Everybody was locked in, enthused, focused on playing the right way. Got up and down in practice as much as we could to try to get their legs under them a little bit. It's a little unsettling to only have one practice after a 9-10 day rest. To get guys back playing games, but this is just a situation we're in. It's out of our control, so we'll make the best of it.
And then just to get back to the big man rotation, Indy's a bigger team, right, with Sabonis and Turner at the 4-5. Just wondered what challenges you thought that their lineup presented you.
Yeah, well, obviously, their size gives them presence defensively at the rim. Miles is obviously the league leader in shot blocking. So we have to be smart in how we attack him there, and we have to make sure we're hitting people on the glass and make sure they don't hurt us, with rebounding.
Has Anthony been reevaluated by team doctors, and if so, is there any update on when he could return? And also, is there anything you can provide us update-wise on Kostas and Mark?
Anthony has not been evaluated yet. That's going to take place in a few minutes here. We'll have an update for you after the game, and no update on Mark and Kostas other than they're both in the health and safety protocols.
All right, Geeter. Well, look, without Big Game James, at least we know that we have two of the 10 guys in the world with at least 5 championship rings. So just try to be okay there with the 12 surrounding you, Geeter. It might be a little bit overwhelming.
12, Mike. Yeah. Pretty special. Yeah, the three of us worked very hard to get those 12. My man.
For sure.
Mike Trudell. All right, and by the way, I said Big Game has 15 holes. He's on the 15th hole. You really know that's 33 holes in, right? Because he already played 18.
Oh, you know
He's playing 36 today. All right, one person who the Lakers are going to have to count on heavily, King James, and he is more than up to the task. He's the oldest player in league history to lead his team in total points, rebounds, and assists at the All-Star break. Braun did it at age 33, and so did Elgin Baylor. Wilt did it at age 31. If you thought being an MVP candidate at age 36 was impressive, LeBron let it be known he hasn't even gone full throttle yet.
Obviously, this year has been totally different. It's been like no other year that we've seen before. Well, obviously with the shortened off season and things of that nature. So, but that first half of the season, I wanted to just try to get my legs back up underneath me, get my wind going, get my rhythm going. And now that I have that, now I know I can just, give it a little bit more, push it a little bit more. You start, I kind of use the first half of the season as being in like gear 1, 2, and 3. And then, in the second half being in more like 4, 5, 6. And then when the playoffs started, you went 7, and that's kind of the way I've always kind of, judged it over the last few years of my career, on just ramping up more and more and more as the months go on and as the games go on, going into the playoffs.
There it is. Time now for Fish's Focus, brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times! LeBron, not only LeBron not hitting his threes at a high clip right now, Fish, so instead he's gone into the paint. He's been very effective.
Yeah, LeBron understands the chess moves that need to be made in order to win. I think as the fatigue set in this season for many players, not just LeBron, the Lakers' three-point percentage has dipped. LeBron specifically not shooting the three as well, but he's made the adjustment in his game, not settling for perimeter shots as much, finding ways to get to the rim. Planting on his left foot here, draws the defender up just a little bit, and with this spacing, three-point shooters out, LeBron is able to make the reverse cut. Marc Gasol with a nice touch pass over the top. this is what I really love, the Lakers creating defense, offense from their defense. KCP with the reach in. Nice little left-hand lob there to LBJ. And then here, Warriors showing a lot of bodies to Marquis. This defender doesn't slide over to the nail, stays too close to Alex Caruso. LeBron able to cut down the lane, get a layup. I don't know how the best player on the team ends up there wide open for a layup. And then here, operating in mid-pick and roll with Trez. Trez does such a good job of delaying his cut, forces the Suns to switch, uses the footwork and the pivot, takes his time, gets the shot that he wants. And that's the beauty of LeBron at this point in his career, why at 36 he can still be so efficient, is that a lot of times when guys get older, not as explosive, so they start to settle for perimeter shots. LeBron still has the ability to get to the rim and punish the opponent.
Yeah, great breakdown right there. Now I want to go inside access for you, Rob. LeBron James leading the league and getting buckets inside the restricted area February and March. Check this out. You look at LeBron, he's up there with Gobert, DeAndre Ayton, Andrew Wiggins, Mason Plumlee. Rob, that's what's really impressive about him, and I know you've mentioned this, and so has Fish. He can just do it so many ways, right? And that's what Fish said. He understands the chess game you got to play.
Oh, it boils down to the mental game. You know, a lot of guys want to go out there and play the physical game, but you have to play the mental game too. And with LeBron, his mental is so strong. Well, he knows that everybody thinks LeBron is going to be this guy that's going to be so explosive, but he's only explosive when he needs to be. When he gets to the paint, that's how he gets everybody. He hardly ever just jumps, you know, to try to dunk on you. You see him dunking there, but a lot of times guys are jumping at him. He's just fading away, using his smarts to get to the whole pump fake. See, look at that. It's just being smart. It's so many guys in this league, they think you have to be athletic to, when you get in the paint, jump over people, dunk on people. No, you have to be smarter than the next person where you can get that shot off and then go to the free throw line because I just got you up in the air and now I got an and one.
All right, guys, good work right there. We do have a picture of Big Game James that just came in. Still on the back nine. Look, he's got the vest on, Fish. I don't see the cigar. You know, it's down on the grass right there because he just finished a shot.
Yeah.
Pick it up. He looks happy, though, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does. All right, keep it here.
Is he going to come back?
No. No. Good chance he doesn't. Keep it here. Lakers and Pacers, how cool is it to play with your brother in the NBA? No, that's not it. I got a Schroeder one first. Sorry. There's Dennis Schroeder. He looks great. 28 points, 9 assists.
Playing great this year.
Playing great. Keep it here for the Lakers and Pacers. It's coming up next.
Access Sportsnet Lakers is brought your love for the purple and gold, and we will show our fan of the game later in the show. And with that, we want to welcome in our Lakers Insider, Mike Bresnahan. Time for Brez's three-point play. Three things that you were looking forward to, Brez, when looking at the second half of the season as a whole. And you want to begin with the three ball. Lakers need to improve from long range.
Yeah, we're definitely going to take a big picture look at the next couple months of the regular season. Lakers can make things a lot easier on themselves by making shots from long distance. As we know, first month of the season, they were great. They were third in the entire league. But you see the stat right there. They have not had a good last 15 games. Overall now, they are tied for 23rd. But as you see, 29th, if you take into account pretty much the last month of NBA action. KCP has had a rough run. That guy right there, Wes Matthews, also struggling. Even LeBron was kind of hit a little bit by the three-point issues. He was 27% in the month of February. A couple things going on, though. Primarily Anthony Davis. He'll make things a little bit better when he does return. That flow of the offense might improve. And maybe, just maybe, the Lakers will add a shooter at the trade deadline, which gets us to our second point, I believe.
Do you even need me here? Because speaking of, a couple of big deadlines coming up. Who would you like to see the Lakers pursue?
Yeah, you know, I think two things they need to kind of chase. Definitely a shooter would be one of them, maybe like a J.J. Redick type from New Orleans. And also perhaps some help at big man. Anthony Davis, we don't quite know how much longer he's going to be out. But we'll start with Redick right there. He's a little long in the tooth. He's 36 years old, but 42% shooter from three-point range in his career. Andre Drummond, very highly publicized tiff with Cleveland. He has not played there in several weeks. And of course, that guy, PJ Tucker. The last two guys there, Drummond and Tucker, guys who can definitely play the 5. Different types of players. Tucker can stretch the court a little bit, but he's undersized. Just kind of a tough defender at the 5. And Drummond, he won't stretch the court at all outside the paint, but definitely a double-double threat every time he takes the court. Last thing about those 3 guys, Allie, all 3 in expiring contract situations.
We shall see. And though I loved your first and second point, your third one is probably the biggest of them all. Health and safety.
Yeah, you guys stay safe and stay healthy. Lakers did okay as far as like the staying safe part. Only a couple little isolated incidents with COVID. None of their games postponed at all. Not a lot of teams could say that. But of course, the injury bug hit them hard. In particular, one player, that man right there. He's missed almost 40% of the Lakers season. Frank Vogel just said a few minutes ago that we'll have an update on AD after tonight's game. The Lakers did give a 4-week timetable about 3 weeks ago, so I would not be surprised to see him sit out at least one more week. But no matter what, got to get him back, make sure he's healthy, and make sure he gets a little rest, along with LeBron, before the playoffs start in May.
Absolutely. Well done, as always. We'll see you later in the show, Brez.
Sounds good.
Straight ahead on Access, the Lakers have one of the toughest schedules.
Start of the year, the Jazz at 27-9. How about the Suns? 25-11. The Lakers at 24-13, and the Clippers 25-14. So the Lakers third in the West. Injuries and everything considered. Do you like where they are right now, Rob?
I'm okay where they are right now. People get mad at me when I say I just don't want them to be in the same bracket as the Clippers.
You and James had a little disagreement.
Yes, we had a little disagreement because he said it doesn't matter, just want to get in and play someone, because I just feel like when you look at matchups, even though the Clippers don't have a strong enough bench as they used to in the past, I just think when you talk about matchups, they got 3 and 4 guys they can throw at LeBron. Yeah. And so that's the thing that fears me, because they can wear LeBron down in that sense defensively, because if Kawhi gets tired, you got PG, and then you got Twin, you got all these guys, these bodies you can throw at LeBron and try to wear him down. So that's my biggest fear. I don't worry about Utah. I don't worry about the Suns. I just think about when it comes to the playoffs, you have to stop.
You don't want to play in first round, second round.
Exactly. So that's what
I understand that.
Yeah.
Are you okay with where they're at right now, Fish? All things considered, injuries, AD missing those kind of games, Dennis missing those 4 games.
Yeah, I think overall, yes. You never want the injuries, you never want the setbacks during the course of a long season, but I like where they are from the standpoint of, in my opinion, when you are returning as champion, you need situations that create a little bit more sense of urgency, that give you something to shoot for, to be the person that's hunting somebody else as opposed to always being the one sitting at the top and everybody's hunting you. So I like the reality of them needing to look up at number 1. I think that'll hold them to a little bit more of a focused second half of the season. Even if they don't get to 1, it's really more so about having something to work for and shoot for.
2002 is different than 2000. Right?
Yes.
2010 was different than 2009, right? It's kind of that first time you're going for it, you're getting that 1 seed, it matters. But after you win a title, it just seems like you kind of understand what you need to say for the end.
Well, it's also, that's playing for home court advantage. Is there really any home court advantage now? I think
maybe there will be in the summer. We don't know.
We don't know. So that's the big thing. And I'm focusing on how you position yourself in the second half. You know, there's times where we know they're going to go up against a lot better teams in the second half, so there's going to be a lot more energy to go out. So I am okay with them being around in this position.
Okay.
If they just sit back and, you know, stay sharp, stay with that, because
figure out
it doesn't really matter when you get in the playoffs during the COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned getting up for some games. The second half, Fish, 7th toughest schedule in the league. They're going to get tested. And Fish, for the first time in a while, it's not just about the West. The East is nasty and probably the best it's been in a long time when you look at those top 6, 7 teams.
Yeah, I think the league has really evened out in a lot of ways. Part of it is that there haven't been the home court advantages. The travel schedules are a little different. The 2-game sets, it's all different. So it's not so much looking at the records, I think, and being able to say that teams in the East and or the West are, you know, better or stronger. In my opinion, the West is still, you know, a difficult conference to be in. And when, you know, the Lakers are in the Pacific Division, so, you know, you have to see the Clippers 4 times. The Warriors, record-wise, aren't where they normally are, but you have to see the Warriors 4 times.
And you start
have
looking
to see the Suns 4 times.
You start looking at the standings, and you know what the important games are.
Yes.
Right?
For sure. And I think this team understands that.
Sure.
And that's why I'm okay with this position. But I agree with Rob from a matchup standpoint. You know, when their matchups are really what determine success in this league.
Yeah.
And in the postseason in particular, when you can throw different guys at your best player, you know, that can cause problems.
Be a problem.
Yes.
All right, Lakers are starting the second half of the season off right tonight. They will be wearing their earned jerseys that were just revealed for the very first time.
Had a good season.
He's a great guy, right?
Yeah, great guy, awesome guy. He's coach now, and they're doing pretty good. I think they're in second place in the conference and trying to get to that big dance.
Yeah, he's a great team guy. You know, he's a great team person.
Guys, I know we love.
I know Rob fights with you, but
I know we love our producers.
Yeah.
But we may have missed the mark on bringing me in right here.
Yeah.
You guys should have just continued.
No.
That was great.
No.
You're welcome.
You know, I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I know. I know you do.
How about a game-winning shot? He's yelling at you.
Just like Fish, I give you the rock. Whatever you need. A guy we have put a lot of focus on when it comes to the first half of the season, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. He has had his ups and downs. Nearing the All-Star break, admitted at one point he was a bit fatigued, but wouldn't make any excuses. Finished in Sacramento last week with 10 points, perfect from the field, going 4 for 4 with 2 threes. But if there is one thing we do know, KCP will need to be dominant in his role if the Lakers want a chance to repeat. He also knows that. So how good was the break for himself? What's his focus as the Lakers continue their quest? KCP joins Mike Trudell.
All right, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, kind enough to join us here on the pregame show. You know, Kenny, we were talking a couple weeks ago, and I know that you were looking forward to that break, whether it was mentally, physically, spiritually, right? Just a chance to refresh a bit after the shortest offseason in NBA history. What did it do for you? How do you feel at this point?
I mean, I feel tremendous. The break did exactly what I expected it to do. I'm recovered. Caught up on rest, you know, mentally prepared, you know, my body and physically prepared. I mean, it's what I needed, so I'm ready.
Yeah, so that's good to hear. Is that something, KCP, that you could feel on the court those last couple of weeks before the break? Did you see that come out in your play when you watched it on film?
Yeah. I mean, I tell sometimes I get fatigued. You know, I could just know how my body was feeling. But now that I had the break, you know, got a chance just to relax, you know, like you said, mentally, spiritually, you know, physically, you know, I was able to just get back 100%, you know, and the break was well needed.
All right, so we know that you guys are going to be without a couple key members of the front court with AD still out and Marc Gasol still out, Kenny. What do you do to try and replace the value that they bring? How do you guys kind of rally around that flag in that sense?
You know, we still got Bron. You know, we still got a great leader, one of our superstars out on the floor with us. But, you know, as far as, like, just role guys and just next man up, you know, we got to come out with great energy, you know, this is the second half, so we got to come out with just great energy and just be ready to play, you know, play for each other like we've been doing.
Got it. Last thing for you, Indiana tonight. What's the top of the scouting report for this Pacers squad?
They defense, you know, they got guys that can just play defense. You know, T.J. McConnell, you know, he's getting steals. You got Miles Turner at the rim. You know, #1 shot blocker. You know, you got them on the defensive end. You got to be careful with the ball. You know, make every pass sharp, crisp, screen. You know, and just try to get each other open.
Kenny, we appreciate the time, man.
Thank you.
We're getting closer to tip-off at Staples Center. Montrezl Harrell will again come off the bench. Even with Marc Gasol out tonight, Trez has feasted on the Pacers in recent years, averaging 21 per over his last 4 meetings. And next, the Pacers may be down in the standings, but they are no slouch. Up next, we'll break down the Lakers' first opponent in the second half of the season.
Access Sports